KRCG 13's Garrett Bergquist this evening watched the debate with an expert in the field of political communication. They both join us now in the studio to discuss what they saw and heard. Garrett?
And Kermit, joining us now is University of Missouri Assistant Teaching Professor of Communication, Stephen Klien. Professor, what would you say was the biggest takeaway from tonight's debate?
Well, I think if there's a single big takeaway, it's that the debate over who's going to be the most effective president is going to hinge not necessarily on policy specifics or even the fact checking, but which of these two candidates can convince roughly 10% of the undecided voters in the public who is the most presidential, who they trust the most in order to lead the country.
And that leads me into my next question. How well would you say each candidate got their message across tonight?
Well, you need to judge that in terms of the expectations game that always happens in a debate like this. Expectations for Secretary Clinton were very high, and so she needed to maintain a sense of presidential demeanor, a command of the facts and policy, while still being able to defeat the larger narrative that's been written about her as someone who is not of the greatest health and not necessarily of the warmest emotional state. And I think she really did a great job of standing up and remaining firm in the face of attacks while maintaining a positive outlook. And I think that's the biggest thing that she had to do tonight. What Trump really had to do was to establish a sense that he's actually not just a loose cannon, but also presidential. And during the first 20 minutes or so of the debate, I think he really did a good job of maintaining a strong demeanor with a command of some policy. But after that 20 minutes, he really took a lot of the bait that Secretary Clinton was offering with regard to controversial things he said in the past, problems with his policy positions. And so while Trump had a comparatively lower bar to hurdle, I'm not exactly sure that he met that bar by the end of the debate.
Where do the two debates go from here between now and October 9th?
Well, I think we're going to see a lot of revisiting of the same kinds of policy positions and debate on these larger areas throughout the next couple of debates. But what we're going to really need to see is whether or not Trump is going to change his tactics in the next debate. I don't think it really worked out for him this time around. Perhaps it was the lack of preparation that the two of them disagreed on. And I think Secretary Clinton is going to maintain the same level of preparation. And I think as long as she can maintain a sense of being firm and above the fray, she's going to prevail.
All right. Stephen Klien, thank you for joining us. And as we just mentioned, the vice presidential debate is scheduled for October 4th. The next presidential debate is set for October 9th.